Some very interesting comments from Ozzy Osbourne and his Black Sabbath bandmates in recent weeks, with some momentum building for a potential one-off final show for Black Sabbath. And the reason for that is, at the final show before with Black Sabbath, their legendary original drummer Bill Ward was not present to perform with them for health reasons. But now there is conversation with Ozzy, and the response from his other bandmates in Black Sabbath have been very, very interesting. Now, first, I just want to say a very crazy moment for me the other day was when I opened my Instagram and saw a clip of Ozzy talking, and they had overlaid this graphic from Rockfeed on the screen. I could not believe that they had used this graphic of Ozzy when he was talking about his retirement, and that was a really cool and shocking moment for me. I started Rockfeed in my garage, and so that was just an honor. And how far you all have gotten behind me and taken this, I am forever grateful and thankful to whoever made that as well, because that was really cool for me. So this is what Ozzy first had to say about wanting to make this potential one-off final show with Black Sabbath happen. So this is what Ozzy had to say in a recent episode of his podcast, The Madhouse Chronicles with Billy Morrison. He was asked if he was happy about Black Sabbath's career, and he said no, because it wasn't Black Sabbath that finished it. It's unfinished. He continued, "If they wanted to do one more gig with Bill, I would jump at the chance. I was sad Bill wasn't there. I mean, Tommy, my drummer, did a great job, but he ain't Bill Ward." Now, naturally, when Ozzy Osbourne has something to say, people listen, and so his bandmates have been asked about this. First, here's Tony Iommi's very interesting response to the comments made by Ozzy there. In a recent interview on Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk, Tony Iommi responded to what Ozzy had to say. He said, although everyone would suggest the band would only reunite for the money, he said it wouldn't be the case. He said that'd be a nice thing to actually do, but whether it happens will be another thing. But we'll see. I mean, who knows? But he did clarify. He said, I have to look at it realistically at my age. I can't go out and do a 2-year tour like we were doing before and put something together like Original Sabbath or this or that or the other. You've got to do a long time because of the cost of everything. But look, though, to be perfectly clear, I don't think Ozzy Osbourne is suggesting that they do a tour. I don't think there's any talk of that. So he adds, but it would be nice to do a one-off if that ever happens, and I think that's certainly what they would be considering. Now, in addition to that, we also have comments from Geezer Butler, which is really interesting because last we talked about his relationship with Ozzy Osbourne. It was actually pretty heartbreaking because they weren't on speaking terms. And now they are, which is fantastic. They're talking almost every day. It's been really positive. So these legendary band members are on great terms again, and I love to hear that. Here's what he had to say, also in conversation with Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk. So here it is. You can see how this is really all starting to come together pretty fast. It says Black Sabbath bassist Geezer Butler also hopes to do one more show with original drummer Bill Ward. It's looking like this could happen, y'all. This is wild. Butler said, of course, there's an interest on my part to do it, but there's a big but. You'd have to speak to Bill about it. Everybody wants to do it, but I don't know if Ward is capable of pulling it off. Sabbath, of course, retired back in 2017 following a farewell tour, but Ward departed the band in 2012, saying the contract he offered to continue with the heavy metal pioneers was not signable at the time. Now, in the background of all of these interesting comments taking place, there's also the potential for 2 final shows from Ozzy Osbourne, which have been discussed as well. We've heard that that could happen in his hometown, which would be very interesting. But whether or not any of this actually comes to fruition has a lot to do with the health of the members of Black Sabbath. And of course, we've seen Ozzy dealing with health-related issues as well. But we do know that he's also played an NFL halftime show, and that was great, but we'll have to see whether or not this will be possible, but there's interest there. It is possible, and a lot of people would love to see it. One final show, maybe even a final show for Ozzy, but we'll have to wait and see whether this materializes. I'm certainly hoping that these band members could get up there and give one final farewell, but we'll have to see. That's your latest update here from Rockfeed. Be sure to hit that subscribe button with notifications on for the latest news and updates.